Have you just started playing Illuvium Zero, or you've been doing it for a while, or you're preparing for what's to come with Illuvium Zero and earning in Illuvium? Well, I've got the perfect video for you because I'm going to talk about two key strategies that you absolutely cannot mix in Illuvium Zero. If you are desperate to mix them, I'm going to talk about one of the only ways you might be able to pull that off. And without further ado, let's jump into it. The first strategy here is the fuel strategy, generating as much fuel as you possibly can in Illuvium Zero. Now, this is a lot easier on a T3 and a T4 plot, but on a T1 and T2 plot, you definitely cannot mix this with blueprints harvesting. I'm going to show you exactly why right now. As we can see over here, we have a level 4 Hyperion lathe. If I go to upgrade that to level 5, the maximum being level 6, level 5 has cost 15 Hyperion to pull off. You can see how few converters I'm able to get on this map right now. If you were trying to mix this with blueprints, then you would have maximum, let's say 3 Hyperion converters, which means every 2 or 3 days, you're going to be able to upgrade one of them because that is how much fuel you are actually generating. So you need way more than that to be able to upgrade all of your fuel converters and things. You're really going to be unoptimized when it comes to fuel generation in Illuvium Zero if you're trying to mix and match between blueprints and fuel. Now, the other problem your T1 plot has is that its best fuel generation idea is from this harvester right here. You can see it generates 10 right here. It's going to help you upgrade your other things. However, that is not quite enough to get blueprints off the ground. So you're going to want a lot of elements, which you can easily get on a T1 plot. You're going to want quite a bit of fuel, but you're going to really want to optimize exactly what you're generating from fuel to power all of your blueprint related things. So with this fuel strategy, you need a lot of power plants, a lot of space, a lot of fuels to really be able to upgrade it efficiently and get everything up to level 6 so that you can maximize your fuel output. And if you're trying to do blueprints at the same time, you're going to be significantly slower than someone that is just doing blueprints. Now, if we have a look at blueprints instead, this is the sort of thing that it takes, except multiply this by 5. For anyone who doesn't know, these are data banks and material labs that are going to allow you to research blueprints. You can see how dense this needs to get for you to be able to research this efficiently, not to mention all the scanners that need to be on your plot and separated from everything else, okay? So you need a lot of data banks, a lot of scanners. This will take up half of your plot easily. You're not going to be able to go really hard with fuel converters and things like that if you're going for your blueprints. Because blueprints get harder to find the more other players have found them, you will want to go really hard and really fast into getting as many blueprints as you can in a shorter time frame, which means you need 50, 60, maybe even 70 data banks to make sure that you are ahead of the curve. What this means is that you cannot fill all of that space with fuel generators either, and as we established a moment ago, you need a lot of fuel generators to upgrade everything effectively. You don't need to upgrade your data banks nearly as fast since you can go for your stage 1 blueprints and alluvials a lot earlier than everything else. And you do not need to upgrade that equipment to go for your stage 1 and your tier 1 things. So, in short, you cannot go for blueprints and fuel at the same time, but remember when I mentioned that there might be a way you can do it. On a T3 and a T4 plot of land, they generate a lot of fuel and they have a lot of harvesters, 6 on a T3 and 9 on a tier 4 plot of land. If you have a diversity of different fuels, this should be enough to upgrade your fuel production. This means that you can quite effectively half and half get all of your blueprints set up and get all of your fuel set up. Now, what I would suggest though, is you would get all of your scanners set up first, get as much biodata as you can, and then get rid of most of them and go hard into data banks and start researching blueprints. Thankfully, you will be able to upgrade these faster than people playing a tier 1 and tier 2 plot, meaning that as you get into the later game, you will be able to get things like stage 2, stage 3 blueprints and higher tier alluvial blueprints a lot easier than your tier 1 and tier 2 counterparts. Even easier if you go full into blueprints, but this is the only way you can really mix and match the two effectively. On a tier 2 plot, you may be able to do this okay, but the better your fuel harvester is going to be, for example, 1 of each, the easier that is going to become. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you learned something about Illuvium Zero and optimizing your strategy. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below because I will be covering this in way more detail when the game launches in open beta.